God, I hate this guy. Who is he anyway? You never find out. According to the manual, he's the old man. Even though the prince works out a decent plan to kill the Dahaka by going to the Island of Time, this jerk still manages to find a way to tell him it's all hopeless.
That doesn't sound like they like you at all.
You know, I think you're right. First thing tomorrow morning, I'm gonna punch Lenny in the back of the head.
I was actually considering turning the game off at this point.
But know this, your journey will not end well.
Yeah, thanks, asshole. I hope you aren't in the next game. The prince wakes up to screeching and finds that he has no swords. Then you face off against the biggest badasses yet. Demonic birds. Maybe I should give up, even the birds want me dead. The first thing you'll notice about this island is that it's seriously dark. Why? Ubisoft seemed ultra intent on making this the grimiest game since Doom 3. At some points, because of this ever-persistent fog, it becomes difficult to see, which helps to explain why only one other group found this island, but doesn't give light into the general gothic nature of the architecture and surroundings.
As artistic director, I helped to unify the vision of the team to make one of the most visually stunning games of 2004.
Sincerely, a concerned citizen. Thank you for writing, concern. Of course, your question touches on one of the...
I just don't understand, with such a vibrant palette to work with in Sans, why you wouldn't continue in that tradition, especially since it was widely praised for its gorgeous lighting and scenery. Even Two Thrones has a lot of light, and I guess they took notice from the complaints in this game. It features so much light that it's blown to a point where you have to squint. Or how about the newest Prince game? They combine light and darkness perfectly for the best artistic style ever. It just didn't make any sense to me, so I went looking for answers, and found this.
First, we started by defining the new emotion that we wanted the player to feel in Pop 2, namely fear and oppression.
Fear and oppression? That's your reason? There's only one point in the game where that feeling comes into context, and that's the Dahaka chase scenes, because he's a giant goat that shoots tentacles and strangles you to death. So what was the point of making the rest of the game dark? It can't have been the tone. Everything else seemed rather happy and playful by comparison. We have heavy metal playing during the fights while I'm swinging a sword to the beat. I can understand it in games like Silent Hill, Deus Ex, and Max Payne, but not here. Shani shows up again, this time acting cowardly for little to no reason. She just kicked his ass. Why doesn't she just face him head on and boot his head off the cliff? Then more of those cow guys show up, and the prince knocks him down with a mighty wallop of his stick. He must have just exerted enough force to break that stick on impact, surely. No? Well, you might be wondering why I'm showing this sequence, and believe it or not, this is the most important event of the entire game. Because past this point, you never, ever have to fight anything except bosses. Yep, that's bullshit, and it's true. I'd like to say this is the worst problem in the game, but no. Stick around and you'll find out how this is essentially just the David part of something much more Goliath later on. The thing about skipping is that it's very easy. The camera tries to lock you in to focus on an enemy, but if you simply switch to landscape, it's no problem. This is my second playthrough since 2004. It's not like I know where I'm going. I just know it's thanks to all of those little camera pans you get when you enter an area that you know where to go next. Even worse is that it's ridiculously easy to do this later on. When you get the power to slow down time, nothing can catch you. Sometimes the prince even says things like, "You waste my time," while enemies reply, "Run, lad, still an option." I'm just being rewarded to run away? Fine with me, see you later. And you don't even need the sand. There's plenty of sand pots right next to the start of platforming runs, and they don't even attack. I've got to refer back to the other games again. In Two Thrones, if you try to skip, archers will probably just shoot you right down. Sans features an incentive system to kill enemies, like gaining powers from retrieves. Not only that, but if you leave Farah alone, she will automatically die. Two Thrones has a way of making your sand upgrades and progression only possible by killing enemies next to a sand time portal.